important day like this in the history of Tunisia, we are so happy to be here to present also our very important and historic observations. So I would like to extend a warm welcome to our guests from the media, other election monitoring missions and various stakeholder groups. Gender Concerns International is proud to have led the partnership that monitored Tunisian national elections for a second consecutive time from a gender perspective. Gender Concerns International supports women worldwide in their action as agents of change. The Gender Election Monitoring Mission, along with partner organizations, the Tunisian League of Human Rights, LTDR, the Tunisian Association of Democratic Women, ADFD, and the Association of Tunisian Women for Research and Development, AFTUR, trained and deployed teams consisting of 10 international and 100 domestic female observers to observe the Tunisian presidential elections from a gender perspective. And not to forget women in security-sensitive areas. Our mission also deployed in areas near the Algerian border, where although they were advised not to continue by army security forces, they were warmly welcomed as observers. Women in these areas know that partnerships like ours are concerned with their democratic participation in security. At polling stations around the country, from Tunis to Gafsa, from Tunis to Jindoba, from there to Sidi Bouzid, and Sidi Bouzid, Siliana and Binarous. We were everywhere. Also Jerba, Madneen, Tatooine. Teams were all over the country in all 24 governorates. Observers encountered representatives of candidates in nearly all stations, although there were no representatives seen of the female candidate Kulthum Kanu.
Watched the elections, which were very interesting for me as a women's rights activist coming from Pakistan, where we are still struggling to make the democracy strong. I also come from the women's movement. I have been a part of the women's movement for the last 35 years. The women's movement in Pakistan grew stronger in the 80s against a dictator when we were demanding democratic rights, human rights, and focusing on women's rights and women's emancipation also. It was a tough battle, but we did succeed in the restoration of democracy. And you know what happened in Pakistan was actually very interesting, that the women's movement started early in 1980s, and then we took the cue from the United Nations Charter of Human Rights, which came in our support, and also Pakistan has been a signatory to Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, that is CEDAW. And CEDAW is a document which actually guides us to ask for our rights, which leads to the emancipation of women. And from women's movement, I have seen different aspects or different scenarios where one could work to push the women's rights. I have been the chairperson of the National Commission on the Status of Women for 3 years. And since the very beginning, the women's movement knew the importance of political representation.
وخبيرات مختصة في شؤون الجندر، شركائنا المحليين وهي الرابطة التونسية للدفاع عن حقوق الإنسان ممثلة في شخص السيدة حليمة جويني والسيد عبسة بن موسى، الجمعية التونسية للنساء الديمقراطيات ممثلة في كل من السيدة سعاد محمود والسيدة فتحية حيزم، منظمة النساء التونسيات حول البحث والتنمية ممثلة في كل من السيدة ختيجة بن حسين والسيدة سلوى كنو، وطبعا المكتب المحلي للجندر كونسيرنز انترناسيونال في تونس. البعثة متكونة من أنيس هارون اللي كانت توا السيدة أنيس هارون من باكستان جندر اكسبرت، أحلام بوسرويل ناشونال كورديناتور، نادية عكاشة ليجال اناليست، لونا كوميونيكيشن اوفيسر، ابتسام كمون مانجمنت، صافي متعلة انترناشونال سيرفرز، ريم عبيدات كاباسيتي بيلدينغ اند تريننج، زبيدة شاوش لوجيستيك سوبرفيزر، كنزة رجاء تابيوليشن اند اناليست، غوشة لوزيان انترناشونال اوبسيرفرز 2. توا باش نوريكم احنا فين اتجهنا خاصة، هذه أهم حاجة. البعثة الدولية تقسمت على حوالي 5 مناطق، واللي هي كيما تشوفوا نابل، بدينا من تونس لكن من بعد قسمنا النابل وكانت السيدة ابتسام والسيدة أنيس هارون ومعهم غوشة صديقتنا، ومن بعد السيدة صبرا بانو خذت ميسيون البيجة سامحوني الزهوان وسيديانا مع السيدة ماجدة دماير وصفا متعلة أيضا. الفريق لونا. الفريق الثالث متكون من نادية عكاشة، زبيدة الشاوش وكنزة رجاء، اتجه نحو جندوبة وبيجة.